been in action this evening. Darlington set a new club record of 6 league wins in a row as they hammered Barnet 4-0 at Feetham's. Michael Oliver scored the first with little help from the Darlington pitch. Peter Duffield scored twice either side of half-time, but the pick of the goals was the last one from Neil Wainwright, who's on loan from Sunderland. At Victoria Park, Hartlepool were held to...
Darlington are third in Division 3 and the top 3 will go straight up. Michael Oliver claimed the opener against Barnet with more than a little help from a dodgy bounce on the dodgy Feetham's pitch. Dodgy or not, Darlington haven't been beaten on home ground this season, and a second goal came just 60 seconds after the first, Peter Duffield's 10th of the season. In fact, the Quakers have now scored 17 times in their last 6 games. Their third last night was created by man of the match Neil Wainwright. On loan from Sunderland, his perfect cross was put away by Duffield for his second of the game. Wainwright deserved a goal and came up with the best of the match. Barnet have been just 2 places below the Quakers at kick-off. 4-0 was the final score. The Sunderland midfielder is finding his form at Feetham's.
That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to get a few games under my belt, hopefully do as well as I can, get some goals, get noticed, and hopefully get back in Peter Reid's way of thinking.
Sunderland still have high hopes for the boy. He's got 2 years to go, I think, on a contract. We have him on loan. If we get him for another month at the end of this one, if we're at the top end of the table, still winning, still in with a shout, I'd be very disappointed maybe if Sunderland took him back from us when we're in full flow. So for that reason, I hope that he remains with the club for the full 3 months. But we won't be able to buy him, as I said, because I know he's not for sale.
Wainwright had played his part in a record-breaking performance, 6 league wins in a row, a new club best.
This season I've needed to get a good run of games together, and that's my 6th game now in about 5 weeks, and it's helped me fitness no end, and I'm getting better with every game.
And will you be able to stay and help them win promotion?
I don't know. It's out of my hands, really. I'm hoping to. I mean, obviously depending on the situation.
And I think we're well in with a shout, but I'm scared to see it, and I don't want to see it, and for that reason I'll keep my feet on the ground and hopefully keep them on the ground as well.
All eyes on Marco Gabbiadini, the division's top goal scorer, hungry for more as the Quakers aim to maintain their winning run. And they took the lead just after the second half kicked off. Gabbiadini's 26th goal of the season, and David Hodgson's side well in control. But for the first time since defeat...
18 months ago, his career looked all but over. Now, he's the Nationwide League's leading scorer, second only to Shearer in the entire country. Any distance, any angle, Darlington's Marco Gabbiadini continues his single-minded pursuit of success.
You find yourself in positions where you shouldn't be shooting and you shouldn't be taking people on, and you do. And it's when it comes off and when it goes in that you get special goals. For someone like myself, I think I've got to have the confidence to take people on. Sometimes I do it in the wrong areas, and sometimes you do it and it doesn't come off. But if you don't try and do it again the next time, then you're not going to get the openings and the chances. So you can't really teach somebody things like that because it's a natural ability, and in some ways you can hinder it if you start messing about with it too much.
I played with the best in Ian Rush. I didn't hear anybody at Liverpool telling him what to do, and who am I to tell Gabbers how to score goals? So he's got so many attributes for our level, and certainly for the division higher. Technically, very, very good. His awareness, his body strength is phenomenal. I laugh when people think Gabbers is a fat so-and-so, as they keep shouting from every terrace in the country that we've come with. But he's incredible. Body strength is phenomenal. And his mouth. He's got an incredible mouth on him. He can whinge for the best of them. But that's him, he's a winner. So I don't mind.
Marco's magic touch first showed itself 12 years ago. A then unknown teenager finishing top scorer for Sunderland as they swept to the old 3rd Division title.
Time just before then I was at York. I played about the first 10 games of the season, only scored 1 goal. Then I scored 6 goals in my first 4 games for Sunderland, so it was the chemistry was there straight away. Mainly I started playing with better players, obviously, and the main ingredient of that was Eric Gates, who I played with up front. We came together, good times for each other. He had the experience and I had youth and the legs, and we just hit it off fantastic, really. And the good thing about it was that he scored. I think I got 23 or 24 and he got 22 or 23, so it was good for both of us.
After 4 years at Roker Park, 87 goals, 2 promotions, 1 relegation, the striker was hot property. Crystal Palace, who just finished 3rd in the league, paid £1.8 million to take him to Selhurst. But despite averaging a goal every 3 games, Marco was on his way within 4 months.
I would say that my style wasn't the Crystal Palace style. I was a player who liked to get the ball to feet and turn people and get the ball in good positions to take people on. And I think they were a little bit more direct, and they didn't really adapt to my style, and I didn't adapt to their style, so it didn't really work. It's life, it's football, and out of it I got a decent move to Derby. We're another very good club.
5 years there brought 68 goals and eventually a return to the top flight. But these prosperous days preceded an ill-fated move to Greece and brief injury-dog spells at Stoke and York. By summer '98, Marco faced a bleak future. Then Darlington stepped in.
I quite badly sprained my ankle, and I was playing. I played about 3 or 4 reserve games at the end of the year, obviously in desperation, really, because I knew that York weren't going to offer me anything, and I was sort of having to play with the injury, just trying to hope that someone would spot me, and I'm thankful that they did come in for me at that time, because, as I say, there weren't too many other options.
They're thankful too. 25 goals in his first season, the best return from a Darlington striker for 35 years. This term, Marco's already matched that, placing the 3rd Division club firmly in the promotion frame. Even now, his manager's surprised. So few were prepared to give Gabbiadini a final chance.
Other managers might not like his outspoken ways, whether it be in the change room, at half-time, at the end of a game, on the training field. He's outspoken. Doesn't bother me. He is infuriating at times, but he is somebody who wins your games more than anybody else, and for that reason we went with it. Now, maybe other managers couldn't cope with that. We were the wise ones. Other people weren't so.
Orient were the latest to experience Gabbiadini's power at first hand. They kept him at bay until half-time, but 15 seconds into the restart gave him a glimpse of goal. Darlington seemingly on course for their 7th successive win, but they failed to press home their advantage, and Matt Lockwood made them pay. A point wouldn't have been so bad, but almost 6 minutes into injury time, Gabbiadini's efforts were all for nothing. Steve Watts sprung the offside trap to snatch victory. Considering the result, goal number 236 of Marco's career won't give him much satisfaction. Mind you, it might have kept his harshest critics happy.
The kids are starting to get to the age where they understand what's going on, and I get a little bit of a telling off of my daughter if I've not scored, or you know, they've been asking for a hat-trick all this season. I've not got one yet this season, so when I say I've got 1 or 2, only 1 or 2, so that's the motivation now as well, so that's nice, and I think I'll just keep going as long as I can. Keep going, well, we'll say 300 goals, I don't know, what do you reckon?
Fortress Feethams, Darlington remain unbeaten at home this season. Mind you, Swansea did come close to breaking the deadlock. David Hodgson's side knew that a win would reduce the gap at the top to just 1 point, and Peter Duffield's 29th minute header set Darlington on their way. Marco Gabbiadini wasn't getting on the score sheet this time, Duffield claiming his 12th goal of the season. But the pass came back to haunt Darlington. Former Feethams favourite Nick Cusack with the equaliser. It finished 1-1. Swansea moved top. The Quakers now trail second place Rotherham by 3 points.
News, defeat for Darlington and another sending off. Torquay United took the points thanks to the only goal of the game, Tony Bello on 8 minutes. The journey back from Torquay is long enough anyway. Even longer when you've lost, and a real slog when you've been shown the red card. Handball by Craig Liddell, a second yellow and a red. Torquay 1, Darlington 0, but the Quakers are still in the top 3.
Just 1 point in 3 games had Darlington fans sweating on their automatic promotion chances. But right on half-time, Lee Nogan popped up at the near post for his first in 17 appearances. They're back on track. Hull 0, Darlington 1.
Top looks. All of these sides, by the way, in with a shout of a playoff place, right down to 14th, in with a chance of playoffs. Rotherham and Darlington, top and third, meet today. Swansea, the side wedged between them. So no doubt about it at all, the big game of the third division this afternoon with the league leaders Rotherham going to third place Darlington. Darlington just off the A1, nice market town. Of course, they've always been in the shadow of nearby Hartlepool in footballing terms. And famous for its railway and, of course, George Stephenson. Really nice market town, in truth. Their problems, though, have been with the pitch up at Feethams. Now, we've sent our Yorkshire pitch expert up there to perform a key test. And that Yorkshire pitch expert is none other than Chris Kamara. Because, Chris, good afternoon from Feethams, by the way, that pitch we can just about see behind you, actually. It's a real mess, isn't it?
It's an absolute joke. When people tell you about football pitches being in a state, you think, oh yeah, maybe there'll be a few bare patches, but this is unbelievable. And the Football League have condemned this pitch because the referee put in a report that he kept thinking he was going to twist his ankle or possibly break his ankle. David Hodgson was saying to me today that every now and then there's a player that makes a break into the box and all of a sudden his legs are taken from under him, not by any tackles or anything, it's just the undulation of the pitch. So there's a sniper in the crowd, I think, somewhere.
Big game, isn't it, in every respect of the word. And one player I want to talk about, Chris, is Marco Gabbiadini, who showed he can do it at every level and is still doing it consistently in the third division.
Well, he scores every week, doesn't he? Every time you look at Darlington's results, you see Marco Gabbiadini. He's done fantastically well. I let him go when I was Stoke City manager because he was on a trial then. And it probably, on reflection, I look back at it and possibly should have kept him. But he went to York City after that, didn't do a lot. He's came back to the North East because he's got a lot of goals for Sunderland in the North East. He's come to Darlington and he just loves every minute of it. David Hodgson actually dropped his top scorer last week and brought in Lee Nogan at Hull City. Lee Nogan scored the winner, but he's dropped Lee Nogan this week and brought Marco back in. So obviously a manager lives and dies by his decisions. Great decision by David Hodgson last week.
OK, Chris, I know you've been with both managers today. Let's hear what each of them had to say.
David, thanks for joining us, but as we see in the league this year and in the Premier League, all the pitches are absolutely magnificent.
What's wrong with ours, Cam? It's fine. It's grass, there's sand on it. This is not Feethams, really. This is the local pitch and putt. We're going to put the flags up in a minute and around the ground so people can come and have their little chip and putt before they go on the main course.
You're telling me that the Football League have condemned this pitch, yeah?
Yeah, the Football League have obviously made a comment, not a comment, in writing, that they feel that the pitch is in a dangerous state. The officials themselves have complained that they're unable to concentrate on the game. I've found that as well with them, actually, because the surface is uneven and they're more concerned as to where they're running. To be honest with you, they have a valid point. I understand it's difficult. I know it's difficult for us, it's difficult for the opposition, but it's here and we have no choice.
Have the lads, I know we have, but have the lads played on anything like this before?
No chance. But I said to them, don't use it as an excuse. We warned them that the pitch was going to be bad, but I never realised how bad it was. But it's the same for both teams. I mean, they're used to playing on here, but we've got to just change our game a little bit today.
Result today, what does it mean, a win?
Yeah, I mean, a win is a tremendous result for us, but the main thing is don't lose the game. You know, if we get a draw today, they're still going to be 4 points behind us with a game in hand, so we're still going to be in that top three. If we win, it gives that 7-point gap. So we've just got to be nice and cautious without being defensively. You know, we've got lads up front who can hit them on the break and get us a few goals, and our away record's been tremendous this season. Hopefully it'll be the same today.
Anything special planned for Marco Gabbiadini, the league's top scorer?
Yeah, kick him as high as long as we can. No, no, I mean, it's very difficult. I mean, he's a tremendous player, you know, leading goal scorer. We knew he'd be back for this game. We just got to be careful nobody dives in and around the box because he can score spectacular goals. He links up the play well, but hopefully Vance Warren will do a good job on him for us.
Let's go back to Feethams now and rejoin Chris Kamara, who's just about ready for the action there. Chris, come on, put your head on the line then. Which of these two sides is going to win today, and do you fancy them both to win automatic promotion?
Yes to both questions. No, Darlington are going to win today, and they'll both get promoted, Jeff. No question about that. I have said very early in the season that Darlington would win this league. There's nothing that changes my mind. Despite this pitch being a nightmare, they haven't lost the game here, so and they're a good footballing side, so they can do it both, the scrapping and pass it around.
OK, Chris, thanks very much. And now then, what about sides hoping to take the places of teams at the bottom of the second division? Two of them met today at Feetham's, Darlington and Rotherham, and this is the way it turned out. Marco Gabbiadini, 27th goal of the season. He got 23 in the league last season. What a season he's had. That was 5 minutes gone. Glenn Naylor from close range got the second, and Darlington unbeaten at Feetham's all season, cruising, it seemed, 2 goals to the good. But Rotherham made up hard stuff. 10 away wins. Guy Branston, a towering header 10 minutes into the second half. Terrific celebration as well. And 4 minutes later, nightmare own goal for the Darlington defender Steve Tuttle. 2-2 with half an hour to go, but that's the way it finished, and it meant that none of the top 3 in that division managed to win.
The big question at Feetham's isn't just which division will the Quakers be in next season, but where will Marco Gabbiadini be? You could ask where would Darlington be without him. Just 5 minutes gone and Marco blasted in goal number 27. He says there'll be no more contract talks until the summer. Glenn Naylor was just behind his skipper in the score charts last season. Incredibly, this was his first of the campaign. A helping hand there from former Darlington keeper Mike Pollitt. 2-0 at half-time, but Rotherham were about to put David Hodgson's side through the mill. This one didn't count. Referee Bill Burns spotting a handball in the box. That was a near-post corner. This one went to the back. Guy Branston unchallenged with the header. 2-1 now. It was becoming a bit of a stroll. The equaliser came within 4 minutes. Route 1 from Pollitt, whose kicks were always a threat. Andy Turner with the cross. Steve Tuttle trying to put it over the top, but only Dean Holdsworth can miss from there. So it finished all square, and with second place Swansea drawing at Brighton and fourth place Northampton going down at Plymouth, a point apiece wasn't bad for either side.
I question the character at half-time. You know, have we got enough winners in our squad? You know, have we got people who are going to bottle it now at such an important time? You know, there's 700 people come here to watch us today, and we haven't performed first half. So get out and earn your corn, and I think they did that.
All in all, a point is a fair result, but it's a point one we had this morning, and by all accounts, it's we're a point further on than what we were against the teams below us. So we're grateful for it.
Darlington Football Club are waiting to hear if they'll be punished for crowd trouble at last night's third division match against Shrewsbury Town. While 2 Leeds United fans were being stabbed to death in street battles in Turkey, nearer to home, fans spilled onto the Feetham's pitch after Darlington's injury-time equaliser. One of them appeared to throw a punch at the Shrewsbury goalkeeper. A spectator was arrested. As Jeff Brown reports, the Football Association will study reports from the police and the match officials before taking any action.
The Quakers had just gone 2-0 down with only 5 minutes to go when substitute Jesper Hjorth scored straight from the restart to make it 2-1. Darlington had 2 penalty appeals turned down as they tried to save their unbeaten home record, and the game was 2 minutes into injury time when Glenn Naylor headed the equaliser. That sparked off a pitch invasion by home fans gathered in the popular end of the ground known as the Tin Shed. Shrewsbury goalkeeper Paul Edwards and defender David Hughes became involved in the scuffle that followed. Both managers played down the incident after the game, but Darlington are sure to face an FA inquiry. It was only last Saturday that Stoke City's goalkeeper was attacked during their game at Bristol Rovers.
I don't think anybody got hurt. I don't think any of their players got tacked. If that was the case, and obviously then it would be a problem. But I hope not. I just hope that the FA might have a look at the video, see why the public got excited as they did later on in the game, and take that into consideration. But we've never had any problems here at Feetham's with the public, and I don't think we will in the future. But I said tonight, that's just emotions were running very, very, very high.
A bit of austerity, really. I mean, obviously, I think it's all the accumulation of things of maybe, you know, coming from 2 goals down. I just got a little bit carried away, haven't they? Obviously, the position that they're in. You don't want to see it happen, but unfortunately, it's happened, yeah.
What happens next is up to the FA. Jeff Brown, North East Tonight, Darlington.
We heard Darlington could be in trouble with the Football Association after crowd trouble during last night's match with Shrewsbury. It was an explosive ending to an unpredictable match.
Shrewsbury were joint bottom, looking for their first win in 10 games, and the Quakers hadn't lost at home all season. But David Hughes' very first league goal was a taste of things to come. It should have been 2-0 before half-time. Lee Steele's shot came back off the inside of the post. All it needed was a touch from John Gale. Chairman George Reynolds went into the tin shed to watch the match with the Darlington fans. He'd be glad he got out before the end, because it was all starting to get a bit silly. Referee John Kirkby turned down claims for a Darlington penalty. He'd done something similar in the first half. It wouldn't have been so bad if Shrewsbury hadn't gone straight up the other end and scored. A rush of blood by keeper Mark Samways, who must have thought he'd been let off the hook when the ball went wide to Steele. Then Samways looked like he'd got back on his line just in time, but he hadn't. Gale couldn't miss that one. 2-0 down with just 5 minutes to go, and some of the fans started to go as well, convinced they'd seen the Quakers lose vital ground in the promotion race. But straight from the kick-off, Darlington pulled one back. Substitute Jesper Hjorth beating Paul Edwards from outside the box. Time to throw everything and everyone forward. Into injury time, and surely this was a penalty. Peter Duffield flattened by Edwards. By now, things were getting a bit lively. And 2 minutes into time added on, Glenn Naylor grabbed a dramatic equaliser. It was Darlington's third home draw on the trot, but it's taken them just that bit closer to the second division.
That was 1 point gain tonight. There's no question about that. To get back from that to get a point was incredible. So we're going to say it's a point gained. Obviously it was a game in hand. I would love to have had the 3. I think everybody else would have. But it's 1. It takes us 8 points, I think, further away from the other pack. So I'm delighted with that.
And do you think you can survive?
If we put in performances like that, there's no problem. But if we put in performances that we have done for the majority of the season, then we haven't got a chance.
Darlington have been to the Twin Towers for a playoff final, and they don't want to go again. What a time to lose your unbeaten home record to the team now just 3 points behind them and who are after their automatic promotion spot.
Cheltenham's sequence of victories seems to have dried up as well. Darlington too are too near the playoff zone for comfort. Andy Collett's save at least secured 1 point for them after he'd given away the penalty in the first place.
Darlington's puzzling dip in form sees them slide from the automatic promotion frame for the first time since February. Playoff hopefuls Hartlepool inflicting the damage. Tommy Miller's 16th of the season. The Quakers shaken and stirred into action. They forced the second half pace to salvage a point. Jesper Hjorth's effort parried by Pool's keeper Martin Holland. Paul Heckingbottom pounced on the rebound. Delight at the time when a win still seemed possible, but the fact is the eventual draw really did neither side any favours. It was a good result.
The points were shared at Brunton Park, but it meant so much more to Carlisle than Darlington. But last season's Houdini artists could have been safe already if they'd held on to the lead given to them by Stephen Halliday. But Darlington's 80th minute equaliser from Glenn Naylor means both top and bottom will be decided next week. Carlisle are at Brighton, Darlington play Lincoln.
The Cobblers' quest left the Quakers crushed. Darlington had to beat Lincoln to have a chance of finishing in the top 3. Jesper Hjorth with a close finish in a tense match. Peter Duffield made it 2-0, prompting a change of manager at Lincoln. Phil Stant has taken over from John Reams. Darlington have a North East derby to look forward to in the playoffs.
Second division games into the third division now, and Darlington have 1 foot at Wembley after winning at local rivals Hartlepool yesterday. Nick London is the commentator on this one.
Clark bursting forward. No sign of a challenge. So he'll try his luck. Hits the post, Ian Clark. 6 goals this season. Heaney. Across comes young Graham Lee. Paul Arneson as well, bit of double cover, but Heaney gets past them. He's brought down by Arneson. Well, dissent from Arneson, but surely that was a foul. Referee Knight thought so. Heaney himself will take the free kick. Tuttle's at the far post. Oh, it's dropped for Craig Little. He's buried it. One defender to another. Tuttle with the nod down from Heaney's free kick. And Craig Little, he only scored once in the normal season. Away at Chester, how important could this one be? Jones, the substitute, gets it back. What are his options? Tries a shot. Not a bad effort from Jones, comes to Arneson. They're queuing up. Oh, it's gone across the face. Oh, it's not Hartlepool's day. Space for Gabbiadini. Good skill from Gabbiadini. The substitute, Glenn Naylor. Naylor into the area. He's brought down by Martin Holland. And what's going to be the decision here? Referee Barry Knight is calling Holland towards him, the Norwegian goalkeeper. It's a red card for him. Poole have got a mountain to climb, down to 10 men. Keeper sent off. And it was all created by Gabbiadini. Picks out Naylor well. Brought down there by Holland, no doubt about it. How will Chris Turner reorganise things? Well, poor old Paul Arneson, he's the man sacrificed so that Poole can bring on a keeper. Andy Dibble it is, the veteran. Played at the highest level, though he hasn't been first choice. Gabbiadini gets the second. They're not there yet, but with a 2-0 lead to take to the second leg on Wednesday, they're well placed.
There's a break on here. This is Coppinger. Went down under the challenge there from Craig Little. The referee will get a chance to make his first marker on the game. Coppinger, loan from Newcastle, a really sprightly figure. And Craig Little gets the yellow card for that. Free kick then to Darlington. Their turn for the dangerous set piece. Tutil is up there, so too is Little. Tutil is the one who's really deep, and he gets up and gets to it. And it's there, and it's Little, and it's Darlington who've got the lead. Craig Little then, the two central defenders came forward and caused the havoc. And it's the visitors who've struck first. 10 minutes to go to half-time. Steve Tutil was deep then, got it back across, and it was Craig Little who came in with an emphatic finish. Good jump by Tutil, and absolutely no mistake with the finish. It's his second goal, but another sharp save, and the ball's loose. This has got to be the equaliser. Oh, how on earth! Literally can't believe that. Well, Collett pushed it away. They were queuing up. There was three of them there. Literally had the ball. They just can't believe they have not equalised. And so too Neil Heaney. Hogan now up front. Finds Gabbiadini. Barron committed himself. Offside as a call. The flag has stayed down. That'll definitely be a penalty, at least. Glenn Naylor straight away into the action and looking en route for the goal. And it's going to be a double punishment. The keeper has been shown the red card. Barron committed himself. Gabbiadini found himself free, looked up. Naylor was through. And he was. That must have gone out. Down he went, and off goes Martin Holland. Honestly, it looks as though he's going to be sacrificed. And they couldn't have a more experienced hand to come in for his first job, and that's to face the penalty from Marco Gabbiadini. 25 goals so far this season. It's 26. Absolutely emphatic finishing from Marco Gabbiadini. Andy Dibble, not a prayer with that. And the Darlington fans erupt. Crucial episode in the game. Gabbiadini kept his cool.
absolutely smashed that one into the top corner. No hesitation, real power, and a thunderous penalty there.